My name is Regal, and this is a story about a legend called a human. I am a historian for the Pyramid Palace in the city of Marine for this land we call Essos. This human came to us in an unexpected manner, and much to our queen's delight, because of a prophecy my friend, who is a visionary, who could see things before they happen, had told her would happen, and all has come to pass. But you will find here that there is another version, which is to be told, of things that happened and after his arrival. I shall tell you this tale because it is one of legend and myth that has become reality. Daenerys is standing on a rock outcrop that overlooks the seas at such an elevation she can see for miles. The wind is blowing gently through her golden hair as occasionally tears run down her right cheek, thinking of everything that has happened in the past. Though her mood had changed for the better when she had talked to the visionary, occasionally certain thoughts about her great loss for holding the throne for 3 days, though she had invaded King's Landing and held the residency there for about 3 to 6 months, had taken place. Occasionally, the memories still come back so often of how she was to marry Jon Snow, and that was dissolved or annulled, and any child that would have been had at the time between her and Jon Snow was also made her to be forced to disown the child indefinitely, and that she would never see this child again. Missandei and Grey Worm approach slowly and somewhat respectfully from behind, but do not interrupt her of her meditation, solitude that she is taking. "How long will she be like this?" asks Grey Worm. Missandei then responds, "Uncertain. If she does, it's very little. That she occasionally has these moods, and she hasn't eaten for several days now. If she does, it's very little." Though a palace visionary gave her a strange message of hope through the gift of foresight, she feels as though she's failed. Though I have given her consultation now and then that we still love her as a queen, and that many still love her. Missandei then stands beside Grey Worm. 2 of her dragons had to be rechained, while the largest has flown off to its own agenda after stripping Tyrion of being Hand of the Queen and placing the Queen Mother under restrictions. She hardly speaks to anyone anymore, though she has summoned me for certain conversations about this legendary human that is supposed to arrive in our world. Anyway, she feels as though no one will trust her anymore. I have convinced her otherwise, though on occasion. Even the Dothraki who were attacked prior to the uprising and siege of King's Landing has no more faith in her and have returned to the Dothraki Sea. And yet there are those who still believe in her. Will she leave us or just give up in life? Asked Grey Worm. No, she will remain, but in much a state of sadness. Even Greyjoy's sister, Kiara, has lost faith, and her brother has been recaptured by a cousin and heir to the House of Bolton, thus forcing Sansa Stark out from that which was regained. From what I understand, Sansa, her sister Arya, and Bran have taken refuge somewhere, perhaps Dragonstone, although I cannot be certain of this. And Jon Snow has fled to obscurity, replies Missandei. Note, if a child was born, this will be covered in their discussion, whereas Daenerys had to disown the child after the child was born of her nephew, Jon Snow, and that the child was stripped of title and claim to the Iron Throne for all time. And so now, what becomes of our queen? Asked Grey Worm. Well, replied Missandei, since she has had to, under much force, being outnumbered in the marriage to Jon Snow, and being faced with the threat of death to her dragons by 3 highly skilled dragon slayers who come from just beyond the edge of the known world, the trip of tears back to the Pyramid Palace has taken a toll on her. Missandei then turns and looks at Grey Worm, looking at her. She waits for a miracle, a prophecy to unfold. She says she will not eat till a new revelation comes to pass. Missandei then looks over her left shoulder. She seeks the aid of that which is but a legend, a male dragon, from the legends of old. Though we and Tyrion occasionally use the term human, it's but a myth, and yet this is her stance, and wishes to be left in solitude. Then she looks at Grey Worm. She will eventually come around, even if it takes a while, like the time she took Meereen and became the Misha of the people she freed, and Queen of the Pyramid Palace. She will have new plans of insight for us. For now, let's leave her to her thoughts of meditation and peace. Grey Worm agrees and walks back to Palace. Missandei looks to Daenerys one last time. But I worry of her heart breaking to despair and loss of hope. Be it man or woman, a lonely heart can die of such feelings. Everyone deserves someone. Then she follows after Grey Worm. As Daenerys looks on in great sadness, something in the distance, most unexpected, catches her eye, and looks at something floating to the beach. What's this? She says to herself. It appears to be some type of strange debris, with a person hanging onto it, and as they are asleep, she wipes the tears from her eyes and goes to investigate. She comes to the beach at the water's edge, approaching slowly, and stands looking down. This one has strange clothes, and she wonders, is this the one? A deep thought comes across her mind with a big smile. She grabs the wet, strange clothing that this mysterious person wears and rolls him over. Slowly at first, and then fully, he looks up at her with a smile. She tilts her head slightly to her left. Who are you? Can you hear me? He kind of looks at her oddly, as though he doesn't understand. Do you understand my language? But the stranger doesn't respond and blinks at her, still smiling. She then asks the same, after looking away to her right while squatting over him, then back at the stranger in her native Valerian language, but again, no response. Did the gods send you? Are you the one I am to marry and mate with? He still doesn't seem to understand. He then tries to reach for her. She stands up suddenly, kind of shocked, as if like he had done something inappropriate, but doesn't run off, kind of looking about with this still smile on her face, as if this was the experience she's never had before. You are a treasure to behold, a new find, and I will make you my new pet, she says with a big smile. She then stands looking to her right again, watching others go about their business. She feels much excitement now, just as she did when she was but a young teen girl in the House of Targaryen living with her brother Viserys. Then she looks back at the stranger, who stretches out his left hand to her again in a somewhat stern way. You are the one that's supposed to bring me victory and lead me to the throne. I cannot see this. You look, as the visionary said, frail and low in stature, though you be laying on the beach. But then her smile returns. And how can I get you to the palace without anyone noticing? Then she looks back to the left and calls two trusted guard knights. Then back at the stranger. These knights, though you do not understand anything I say, are going to help you. Please do whatever they ask. They will not harm you, I assure you. I will not let them. I will see you soon, stranger. And with a smile, walks off towards them. I found something, or someone. Oh, do not harm him. Are we clear? Yes, my queen, responds one of the knights. Help him to his feet and bring him to me in the Pyramid Palace. They nod in agreement to her command as she returns to the palace. Missandei, in the meantime, sees Daenerys come into the throne room with a big smile and somewhat as if she were acting in a way definitely unusual, as though she was in a hurry, but in an excited-like way. My queen, you all right? You seem suddenly happy, as if your mood has suddenly changed. Daenerys then responds, Forgive me, Missandei. Great has been the troubles of all that was lost upon my heart. For the loss of the Iron Throne, though I had it for a brief moment, and having to end the marriage to Jon Snow, having blind faith in Tyrion, and re-chaining my two dragons, has greatly weighed upon my heart. She then walks slowly with Missandei up the steps to her throne seat. I found something or someone. Really? Then she turns and goes back down the steps, and I'm almost losing her balance on a couple occasions. Please do hurry. I have much to tell you. So, Missandei, while it looks as if, again, Daenerys is acting like the young Targaryen teenage girl, skipping almost in an excited way, but trying to keep herself from falling, is eventually followed by Missandei. Missandei smiles with intrigue. A man, one to make you happy again. And Harry's with much delight responds, Yes, he's here. What? The human is here. I'm sure of it. You certain of this? I have seen it. I mean, him. He wears strange clothing. Wow. I've sent 2 guards to go retrieve him. I see. He has these strange clothing that I've never seen before. This becomes quite the intrigue for Missandei as well. Daenerys takes her seat after gently grabbing Missandei's hand. And as Missandei stands by her left side, he is cute. And he smiled at me. Wow. This never has anyone washed up on the shores like this. Well, he is a bit dirty. So you're gonna, give him a bath. Yes, when he comes to. I don't suppose you're going to, ask him about his pole and 2 stones? They both seem to laugh on it. No, I don't think that would be appropriate, me being a queen, and having just met him, that might scare him. And I wouldn't want him to think I was going to rape him. Although that would be interesting. They both seem to laugh about this again. Wow. Missandei doesn't know what to say. Except that all she can say is, wow. And this is like quite the erotic conversation that they're having about him. But I wanted to bring him myself, but decided to have the guards do it. As they look at each other with smiles, I'm glad you seem happy again, my queen, says Missandei. Yes, it is a treasure and great find indeed, says Daenerys. Then as they wait, they continue discussing many things. And again, from the historian who passes by, this is a version of the discovery that wasn't told. However, the historian does not catch the discussion she has with the one knight who was deeply in love with her, that she had allowed to have sexual relations with, that she could no longer be with. And so the historian continues going about his duties. And eventually, they, after much discussion, return back to the throne room, where she goes back up the steps to sit and wait for this one that she has found to be brought before her. This is the scene that takes place in accordance to his being stripped in the guest chamber by Missandei and certain servants of the palace that are trusted to remain silent and not say anything, as per the instructions by Daenerys of the Pyramid Palace in Meereen for the land of Essos. And now, Game of Thrones, the motion picture, a new revelation. Missandei, could you come with me? Yes. After I give some instructions to these knights. All right. So, after instructions had been given, she then gives Missandei some instructions. There's something I want you to do for me. I would undress him myself, but I don't know if that would be appropriate. Could you get those you trust, other servants, to help him get undressed? Really? Well, he has to get out of the wet clothes, yes. And perhaps maybe you can tell me what you see. You're interested in as to how he's made or looks. Yes. Well, I'm just curious if he's anything like the men of our world. Well, Sonny seems a little bit surprised on this. I will do whatever you ask me. Yes, I know you will. I'm very curious about him. I don't know why, but I am. Very well then. I shall do this now then, I suppose. Yes. And I will be here waiting to see what you have discovered about him. All right. I shall return, Daenerys. Very good. And so Daenerys has got this big smile as though many thoughts are crossing her mind. And Missandei gathers a certain servant too that she trusts, who are lower in rank than herself, to help get this one undressed. Missandei empties pockets of strange things after stripping the stranger of his clothes. The strange round metal-like coins are put in a bowl, while the rest is put in a wood box. Then she takes them to the queen in the meeting room and hangs strange clothes over outdoor balcony railing type barrier to dry out. Daenerys then comes out on the balcony. "How is our strange guest?" she asks with a raised eyebrow smile, looking at the strange clothing drying in the sun. Missandei, slightly blushing, said, "He is alive and well, and yet is built like us. And here is these strange things that come with him." Daenerys looks at him. First a wooden box, something leather, square, gold chain attached to it, some other type thing, and she looks at it as if she wants to open it, but she's not sure what this thing is, and accidentally touches the button that beeps at her, and she quickly drops in the box. Oh my gosh, what was that? I don't know. They're not things of our world. Little does she realize that it happens to be a cell phone. And then she takes a look at other things, and then again, as if she was a young Targaryen teenage girl, finds all these strange things that came with him very fascinating. And here is these strange things again. Perhaps the gods gave him a type of coin to pay me to guarantee I'll look after him. I'm not sure, my queen. They are different than the coins that we have of the gold dragon, the silver stag, and the copper penny. Well, we will have to wait till he wakes. Perhaps when we talk to him a little bit more, we'll understand his language, and he'll explain what these strange things are that come with him. So, leaving those set aside, so they don't fall over the railing onto a table, Daenerys takes charge of them, and she looks them over. "When his strange clothes has dried, take them and this box to the sunroom. When he is awake, I will have fresh dry clothes for him. And when dressed, lead him to the sunroom. Understand?" "Yes, Daenerys." Then Daenerys gestures to Missandei to sit at the outdoor table. "I sense you have seen him naked." Missandei's got a big smile on her face with raised eyebrows. "Yes, my queen." "Tell me then, what you see?" asked Daenerys with much anticipation. Big smile, eyebrows slightly raised. "Well, he has a cute, yes, limp pole, and has 2 stones like the men of our world." "Really?" She seems very excited about this. It's surrounded by much fur." Daenerys is like very stirred by this description. "Not like that of a woman's flower. And every size is his 2 stones. But he is. You're fine, of course. Decided to snicker about this. Wow, you are blessed, though you be my handmaiden. As you queen, I can't do that which you can do because of my status quo. It is true, he is my find, and they both seem very stirred by this erotic discussion of this one sleeping in the guest room. What shall you do with him, my queen? Ex- uh, Possibly, maybe experiment with him? Asked Missandei. They both laugh at this. No, I wouldn't want to wraith him and scare him off, and he may not be willing once he knows I am queen. But I still have to try and communicate with this man, and perhaps feed him. Sami then looks at Daenerys intently. Then what is your plan? Daenerys then sensuously answers, I shall ask him many questions once I know we can communicate. While I would love to know, does his pole extend and be firm, I wish to um, feel it inside me myself. I can't be known for sleeping and mating with every man I find. She laughs at this, though, thought of much pleasure. I would want to know how big its pole grows. Does it give much seed? Does it give much stream of golden waters? Does it throb in a woman's flower when mating with a woman and having much pleasures? What it feels like, and how hard does it get? How does he mate with a woman? And if he puts this pole in a woman of his kind's flower? Wow. Well, my queen. Yes, I know this is probably something that I would not normally discuss with everyone, but as you know, this is good confidential information. I have not felt like this since I was with my husband Drogo. Um, these are very stirring sensations I'm getting. They both seem to have slight giggles about this and look around to make sure nobody's watching. They seem to have sexual curiosities about the stranger. Wow, my queen, seems you've fallen for him already. Daenerys looks away slightly. Perhaps I have. As well, this stranger is still sleeping, passed out, under the blankets that Missandei and trusted servants had put him in. Daenerys then checks in at this stranger, seeing how he was tucked in, and lays fresh clothes on a chair. And then she, after a while, looks at him, leaves. After several hours, then the stranger wakes up. He gasps and sits up suddenly, taking this sheer curtain that was blowing in his face off, looking about as if he's in another strange place. And he notices he's in this huge bed covered up. Where the hell am I? What is this place? It's so huge. Am I dreaming? I can't be. I think I'm alive. Could this be heaven? He then looks at his arms and touches his arms. Well, I feel my own skin, and these blankets are real. How did I get here? How long have I been out? Was I dreaming about someone with golden hair, a beautiful blonde, sitting on a throne? And these guards were a little rough. I think she was in a person of authority because they seem to do whatever she asks. That's got to be a dream. I don't understand why our planet has got thin atmosphere. Why I got this heavy sensation on my chest. Something's happened to my world. I'm gonna have to take it easy. Keep my breathing under control. Whatever happened after Nubru had passed, something's changed about my planet here. He then, as he is getting ready to get out of bed, notices that his shirt's missing. What the? Where's my shirt? I could have sworn I was wearing my uniform. She then checks in at William again, and she points at the clothes and stands there. He gets ready out of bed, and he suddenly, noticing his status, sees that he's naked, quickly sits back on the bed. Oh my gosh. And she kind of looks at him with a raised eyebrow. He lifts the blanket and looks down and quickly puts the blanket back over his lap while most of his left hip and leg are showing. And he kind of has a slight embarrassed grin about him. Daenerys, finding this delightful, kind of understands, and with her eyes fixed on him as she's turning, slowly walks off. Oh my gosh, how did I end up naked? Did she take my clothes? That's a provocative thought. I would have never imagined a queen taking my clothes off. Of course, then William doesn't realize that it wasn't her, but the handmaiden, because again, he had been passed out. So again, she has this big smile, and when William's faces changes color after realizing he's naked, she again had left with eyes fixed upon him. To her, this is a fascination that a person of another world would have colors. She wasn't sure if that meant he was angry, but she found this quite intriguing, that 3 shades of red. He then tries to get into these clothes. What the hell do you get into these things? This is not my clothes that we normally wear. They look ancient. So he gets his shirt on and notice there's no buttons. Oh, this is odd. And then he tries to get into pants as if like they were almost too tight. And he starts jumping down. How in the hell do you get in these damn things? I can't go out there with my penis hanging out. He kind of laughs at himself like, I don't think the queen would like that. Although I don't know what the queen's like. And I'm presuming she is one. So he loosens up what looks like shoelaces. I see. Why would somebody put shoelaces in their pants? That's odd. So he finally is able to put his status away so it won't be obscene, because being of modesty. Finally manages to relace his pants like that of a shoe and tie him off. And then looks at these things. House slippers. Okay, so maybe this is what you wear indoors. Alright, I guess I wear these. So he kind of taps to make sure there's nothing in them, being cautious, not sure where he's at, what kind of insects might be around that might crawl into shoes. Sticks his feet into them, and then sees this mirror and looks at himself. If I didn't know any better, you'd think I was from some medieval time period of my world. These are definitely strange clothes. And so he kind of realizes, next thing you know, I'm going to be talking to myself. He laughs at himself again. Daenerys then motions for Missandei to come over, and she then whispers into her ear with instruction about giving him a bath. Uh, for William, with quite the smile, Missandei again kind of seems surprised about this. You don't want to do this yourself? No, not yet. Um, I don't want to scare him because he probably will know my position soon, and I want to take my time with him. I see. All right then. So, understanding instructions, she goes into the room where William's already dressed, and she clears her throat. William turns suddenly and bows before her. She holds her hand, shakes her head, and then it says to William, I know you don't understand, but I'm not the queen. You don't need to bow before me. He kind of not looking left to right, not understanding what she said. It's okay. You don't understand, and you should have waited to get dressed. And although I think it's because you're a bit modest, I can understand why. So Miss Sonny fills the royal tub with waters, and then points to the tub and water. He understands that possibly he was supposed to take a bath first, and looking at himself in the mirror, notices he is quite dreadfully dirty and probably might have to take a bath. So he, as he's going into the room where the tub is, she kind of follows him and he holds up both his hands, kind of, again, flashing color, and Missandei even finds this intriguing. Oh, I understand. You're not used to having a woman undress you. Although you don't understand, perhaps that's good because I and the servants undressed you before. But I won't make you uncomfortable and do this again. I shall wait out here. William, thinking that maybe, even though he doesn't understand her language, kind of understands, he goes into the room, gets undressed, and the water feels so good, and he closes his eyes as if he's going into another heaven. The water is nice and warm and hot. He sits slowly in the tub, and it's as if all the stress is just floating away. She then comes in and tries to wash him, but his pulse instantly starts growing. He feels so embarrassed about this. With delight and experimenting, she lowers her top, showing her breasts with a smile. His pulse throbs and points upward. She then recovers herself and pats William on the back with a big smile, shakes her head. I won't put you through this, but I had to do this because it was what the queen wanted. You are a very unusual man. You seem not able to control yourself. Perhaps she will find this fascinating. And again, patting him on the back with a smile, then leaves to tell Daenerys what she has discovered. William tries to recover himself and shakes his head as if he's very disappointed in himself, because now what are they going to think of him? For him to have his pole grow just because he saw this servant's breast. He puts his hand in his head and shakes his head like this could be bad news. But eventually he does recover and regain normal status. Missandei then informs Daenerys, I had given him his bath, and he was dressed at first, probably because of his modesty, but I think he understood he had to take a bath first. That's good. Anything else? Well, since you want to report, I figured you wouldn't mind if I did an experiment to see how his status is, and it was very unusual. Please do tell. Well, I wanted to see if he had any sensational reactions. Um, so I lowered my top, and oh my gosh, his pole grew quite large, quite fast, pointing out of the water. Are you serious? Yes, but I assure you, my queen, because he's your fine, I did not do anything further. I recovered myself and patted him gently on the back. His skin is slightly smooth, especially when wet. He changes colors. Yes, I noticed this too. He is a bit modest, I guess. Yes, I thought you might like to know that, it seems it don't take much for his pole to, get fully enlarged and long and quite aroused. Oh, I do delight in this, Missandei. Eventually I will find this out for myself. This is pleasant. I am glad you did what you did. I am not displeased. Good. I was hoping I didn't do something wrong. No, you did not. This gives me much to think about. Well, he should be done with his bath pretty soon, I would imagine. He don't take baths like women do. Yes. Well, shall we both go check on him? Daenerys kind of looks down a bit and then looks up with a smile. Yes, let's do. And so with that, they head off to the guest room. They come into the guest room and they hear splashing. They look at each other and they quietly peer around the corner. And in slow motion, it shows him standing up after it's a long, dark brown hair just dripping. As though in his world he was a man from a Harlequin romance novel, and stands up in slow motion because the film scene now slows, water just rushing down, and notices that he has a firm, well shapely bottom and stands up in the tub, lifting his head to the ceiling with his eyes closed, as if he's enjoying every moment of this bath that was given to him, and lowers his head. Then they quietly leave before he notices them and leaves the guest room. And after they are both laughing about this, they kind of then draw conclusions. Daenerys, after having watched him, then tells Missandei he has a nice bottom. Although I shouldn't be saying this, though a little hairy and has very nice legs. Yes, I would imagine you would find this quite attractive. Eventually I hope to see his pole, but I didn't want him to know we were looking at him, because he seems very, very modest. But this does stir many things. It's as if his bottom's very shapely, like that of a woman's, but firm. They both seem to laugh about this. Wow, my queen, you have made quite the find. Yes, I think I would consider him to be a treasure indeed. Well, shall we go to the sunroom, and in a little while you shall check in on him, make sure he's dressed and dried off. Well, hopefully he's dried off, but yes, dressed, and bring him to the sunroom. Yes, I think that would be a good idea. And yes, I will do this. Very good. So they then both head to the sunroom and talk for a little bit until it's time for Missandei to go lead William to the sunroom. After some time that both um, are in the sunroom talking about the pleasures of seeing this stranger's nakedness, uh, Daenerys then decides that it's time that Missandei leads him to the sunroom. Missandei, yes, perhaps now would be a good time to lead him here so we can try to understand him. Maybe we can learn his language and he can learn ours as a start. If I am to mate with him and he's the one to lead me to what I want so that I can crush my enemies once and for all, we have to start somewhere. Yes, I agree. Very well then, my queen. I shall leave him here. I look forward to seeing what I can learn from him. Daenerys seems so excited about this. The knights look at each other, standing on either side of Daenerys, and with a slight cringe shake their head as if this is something that they probably should be hearing, and then look straight ahead before the queen looks up at them, trying to be as discreet as possible because in the throne room and sitting on her big chair, looking like that of a throne, she trying not to let on that she has too much interest in this guy. Not that it would matter because it's her decision anyway. Sonny then walks up the palace halls and finding William dried and dressed, she then motions for him to follow her. You will follow me. I know you don't understand yet. So she then uses hand gestures, motioning to her. He slowly at first, then at normal pace, follows her down this hall. He's looking about as if this was some great wonder of the world he's never ever seen. And thus, he is finally led to the sunroom, where he looks about, and like the windows are made of pillars. And then hears a voice behind him. You can be seated. And it kind of startles him. He almost trips over down Missandei, and Daenerys almost kind of laugh about this, cover their mouth to keep from laughing. I think we startled him. I think Sonny did too, though he doesn't understand. So she points at a cushion, then at the end of the table, and makes a gesture for him to sit. He kind of looks at other people, probably officials, sitting at the sides of the table. They're sitting on these things that look like cushions. So cautiously he walks forward, gets on his knees, and still his eyes fixed on the queen, looking at the guards as he's reaching slowly and cautiously for this cushion, drags it towards the end of the table, and noticing how the others are sitting, kind of figures out this is their way of sitting at the table, then sits himself on the cushion with his legs crossed. And thus, then, we now go into the first chapter.